season ended today, and the Chargers would go on the road to play in Cincinnati. So pretty interesting stuff in the AFC, but you still got 3 teams that are still in it right now. As I mentioned earlier, Houston's still in it, Buffalo is still in it, and so are the Ravens as well. And in the NFC, right now the Seahawks are the 1 seed, and the Lions are the 2 seed right now. Then the number 3 seed right now is actually the excuse me. Right now, the number 3 seed is the Dallas Cowboys, and the 4 seed is the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, there you go. Play the music for those Cowboys, right? And then you got the Carolina Panthers would be the 4 seed right now. As I said, even with the 6-8-1 record, they're still a division leader, and if they win their division, they get a home playoff game. They play the Packers, who would be the 5th seed. That Lions and Packers game this weekend is very, very important. It's really going to give us a good idea about where the road to the playoffs is going to end up being. So interesting stuff there for them. And then the 6th seed at this point is excuse me, it's the Arizona Cardinals. So it's going to be interesting seeing what ends up happening in the NFC. Obviously, the Falcons are playing. They're the only other team left in the hunt right now, and if they win, then they would win their division. So next week we're gonna do a little bit more of an in-depth look at the NBA and the NHL, as well as to look at some of the bowl games and some of the predictions that I have. But this week was focused on football, and we're going to talk about the wild card as well next week and some of the big games going on then. And I'm going to wish you all a Merry Christmas. If you get a chance, go ahead and check out my eBay store. But the name of my store is American Card Pickers, or you can go to the website, stores.ebay.com/American_card_pickers. And I'm going to get ready to hand things back over to Minister Ackridge.
Hey, before you go, Jeff, I do have to, I want to just ask you, man, what happened to the Broncos? I didn't see that coming.
Question. Yeah, well, I saw Cincinnati. I kind of saw Cincinnati winning that game. To be honest with you, I know the Broncos are right now they're the team to beat in the AFC because they're the defending AFC champions. But I just kind of felt like Cincinnati playing at home and playing in the elements. I kind of felt like the Broncos. It was kind of an uphill battle for them. And Peyton Manning, it was very surprising too seeing Peyton Manning throw some of the interceptions he was throwing, because usually where he wins is before the ball is even snapped. Honestly, before the ball is even snapped, he's able to read defense as well. He was having a very tough time reading the Bengals defense though. A couple of interceptions he threw. Yeah,
he was throwing. He's like threw 2 picks, and then I think they had a misread in the last the last quarter. So I don't know. I think he got really. I think what happened to Manning, he got rattled. Actually, he got rattled early. They stayed on him, and I think they kind of got him out of the rhythm. And like you said, he wasn't reading the defense. I'm like, that's not like his normal,
Yeah, exactly. And then it's kind of interesting too, because the last 4 weeks or so, as far as effectiveness, Manning's effectiveness hasn't been all that great. I know the Broncos are in second position right now, but looking at everything, I know they're trying to establish the rushing game, but from Manning's standpoint, the accuracy hasn't really been there. Some of the decision making has been questionable, and I'm not all that concerned about Peyton Manning, but if I was a Broncos fan, I'd be a little concerned.
Yeah, I'd be concerned. I would be concerned. But I said it, and it may go down to the big teams, the Patriots and the Broncos and Green Bay. Those are the power teams, and those sleeper teams like Carolina and Dallas Cowboys. Granted, we've been playing some great ball, and Romo has limited his interceptions this year, so he's actually had a great year. I know I've kicked him for the last few years, and everyone has, because we so wanting a championship, we so wanting to win, and when we put it in his hand, he's always has messed up. But this year, I can say, and I just have to, I can't stand the guy, but I just have to go. I have to give respect where respect is due, and he's had a great season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great year for him. And it's interesting because with any position player, with any star player, you always try to be careful not to give them too much credit and the team not enough credit. And then at the same time, though, you don't want to not give them enough credit to give the team too much credit, because sometimes certain players really do make their team great. I mean, like you look at it, a team like last year with the Kansas City Chiefs, their team was Jamal Charles, pretty much, and I think, giving guys credit where credit is due, but by the same token, not giving them so much credit that the other players on the team don't get credit either.
Right, and I think that's what happened to Michael Vick. Michael Vick came back, and everybody was giving him credit, and they was giving him all the money, and I think the guys that really didn't want to block for him, because you can take Michael Vick out, put the second quarterback in, and they hold a block, and so I think and the same goes with RG3. I think that because he's getting a lot of publicity and a lot of the spotlight, the players, they're kind of, you still have a competitiveness even on the same team. So, I think that with Washington, they, hopefully they are still proven to be the team that's in the bottom of the league, like they have. And don't have a win with us this coming Sunday, because I don't want to have my last game as a L with the Redskins.
Yeah, I know Cowboys fans are kind of holding their breath about that game, because honestly, it's one of those where it could really go either way. I mean,
because like you said earlier, I mean, it doesn't matter what records are. When you get into your division, that means that's rivalry, and actually it's 0-0 when it comes to rivalry.
Absolutely, and it's just, some teams just have a way of playing their divisional opponents well, and the Redskins play the Cowboys well. The same way how the Jets play the Patriots well. Even as I said earlier, I mean, from a cleanness standpoint, that Patriots game, the Patriots did not play their best game of the year. They were somewhat sloppy, but as I said, though, a win is a win, especially when you can go into your opponent's stadium and get the job done. It's tough going into your rival stadium and winning. So I call it a great win, because it's a game they could have easily lost. I think if the Cowboys find a way to go into Washington, and whether they win by 1 point or 15 points, to me it's still a great win, because you've got to be able to beat your in division. You got to be able to beat your divisional rivals, especially during this key stretch of the year. Man,
I know we've been doing good all year, and actually, you know what? The Cowboys do still look like the 90s Cowboys when they won, because look at how we started off. We're playing real good, and okay, we lost some games in the middle of the year, but look at how we're coming back. And to have a great game as we did last week, and we're proving that we're going to get better time and time, and it looks like we're getting stronger and stronger, and we have some players out, and now so I just do want to see them the next few games, that same drive on defense. That defense, everybody ran to the ball. I don't see it. It's a little bit, it's not the same as it was when it first started the year. But I would like them to now get into post play. Let's get into this playoff time now, and let's get around the ball. Let's everybody run to the ball. Let's attack. Everybody that's attack that ball, and let's get in there and get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's. You can't put a price tag on hustle, and I mean, talent is one thing, but if players don't hustle, and if the team doesn't hustle, then you're gonna have a tough time winning games.
And you're right about that.
And I'd rather have 11 guys on defense who are good and hustle on every play, and have a team with 11 superstars who don't put in 100%.
That's right. Hey, listen, Jeff. I know we didn't cover the college sports football, but I do have a game. I know we talked about it a little bit today at work, but let me tell you, Oregon, the Ducks, and Florida State. I think it's going to be a good game. Florida State has been playing behind and coming back in the second half to really find a way to win. I don't think that they're gonna be able to do that with the Oregon Ducks, because Oregon is such a fast team on defense and offense. I mean, they are moving, man. I mean, they're all over the field, all over the place, and Oregon has a great team. I mean, they've had one loss this year, and I think this Rose Bowl is going to be a great Rose Bowl because, one, you got a great Florida State quarterback, and, you know, and their team, if the Florida State defense plays Florida State defense to its ability, then it's going to be such a great game. But it just depends on which defense is going to show up for Florida State, because is they going to be the first and the second half, first and second half team, or they're going to just be a second half defense team. If they do, then I don't think they're going to be able to come back from an Oregon 21 down at half or 28 down at half. I just don't see them as talented as Oregon be able to come back in such a team that's Oregon.
Oh, absolutely. I think if Florida State starts from behind, I just don't see it either. I don't see them beating Oregon. They've got to have their best game of the year, honestly, because let's just take a look at Florida State this year. They've won a lot of close games that really shouldn't have been close. I believe that Florida State is better than they've shown us this year. Right. I know they went undefeated this year, but they didn't look like an undefeated team on the field for quite a few games.
Yeah.
They found a way to win those games, but if they start behind against Oregon, I don't see them winning that game.
Yeah, I don't see them winning either. Actually, I really wanted to see Florida State and Alabama, man. But Alabama has a great team. I mean, they 12-1, but I mean they actually should be a 13-0 team. I mean, they have great defense, they have great offense, they have great receivers and corners. I mean, they just have a good team, and they have a great coach. And Ohio State's not a pushover team either, but I would have liked to see Alabama and Florida State, and actually seeing Oregon and Ohio State play. That would have been great bowls. But I think we still have a great bowl games. But, I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be January 1st. So at 5 o'clock, I don't plan to be doing anything but watching those games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about those games too, and I like the 4-team playoff format. I hope they expand it to 8 teams next year. I think 4 is a little small. I think when it comes down to any sort of playoff, I think you've got to, I guess that's the thing about the playoffs is, especially in the NFL, they've made it. They made it 8 teams in each conference, so that way you really get an idea of who some of the best teams are. I think when you limit it down to 4 teams, you don't really give other teams a chance to really show that they have a championship team. So I hope they expand it to 8 next year, but 4 this year ought to be pretty good.
Right. Well, Jeff, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and we thank you for all you do on the Minister Actor Show. And you don't have any last words for the listeners out there?
Yes, it's been great being back here on the show, and Merry Christmas to you, Minister Ackridge, and Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm going to hand things back over to Minister Ackridge, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bloodlines, Illuminati try and take lives and devise the Antichrist plot to rise. Open your eyes and read between the lines, cause the truth is we all running out of time before they start yelling peace and safety. Saying scriptures being fulfilled on a daily basis. Revelations 2:27, prepare you atheists. The Lord reigns hard, who you think you playing with? Accept Lord Jesus in your heart and be saved. Receive mercy and grace for your sake, because none will escape on Judgment Day. The Lord loves everyone, including you. He's calling to you now, so what you want to do? Baby, come back to Christ. Would you please come back to Christ so you can save your life? Baby, please come back to Christ. Would you please come back to Christ so you can save your life? Baby, come back to Christ. Would you please come back to Christ so you can save your life? Baby, please come back to Christ. Would you please come back to Christ so you can save your life?
All right. Hey, we want to thank you for listening to the best gospel praise talk show in the morning. I mean, in America. I'm thinking about morning. Hey, Again, you listen to the best gospel praise talk show in America, the TMA radio show. Let them know every Tuesday night between 8 and 10 p.m. We will have Sports Minutes with Jeff. And also we're going to be kicking it live tomorrow between 8 and 10 also for Wednesday night.